Hello, hello, welcome back. 5 days till 10 years sober. We're officially down to one hand on our countdown, and this is episode 6 of this little 10 episode mini series, 10 days to 10 years sober. My name is Elsa Karinke. I will be celebrating 10 years sober on May 3rd, and I'm excited to be here counting down, celebrating, and sharing all about my journey in sobriety over the last 10 years with you. So today, we are going to talk about one of my favorite topics when it comes to sobriety, raw dogging life. I first heard that expression from a comedian on social media, and I thought that was like the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. But let's rewind and unpack and talk about what I really mean by that somewhat inflammatory statement. All right, here we go. So, truly, the greatest gift of sobriety for me has been the level of presence that I am able to have in my life through the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between, the most painful moments, the most blissful moments. And it's just really amazing to be able to be present and feel it all. And so what I mean by raw dogging life is, I say this a lot, being sober is truly just a whole other level of living. It's like living 2.0. And not everyone needs to be sober. Not everyone abuses drugs and alcohol. But we live in a society, in a culture where it's very accepted to take the edge off, or just wind down a little bit at the end of the night. Or, when you're going through something hard, just, have a few, take a few puffs, And where it really became clear to me that sobriety was living 2.0 was in 2020. I had a little group video chat going on with two of my best girlfriends. And I knew both of these women from my yoga community, so they were very conscious, spiritual women who I love dearly, very much both on a path of healing and self-development and self-actualization. But in 2020, all three of us lost a very good friend. It just kind of so happened that we each went through that experience in the same year. And mine happened last. So I lost a good friend of mine at the time, at the end of December of 2020. And so I immediately hopped on that group chat with my sisters, my good friends, and, I shared the experience with them, and they were able, because I was like, they'll relate, they'll know exactly what I'm going through. And in sharing that experience with them, both of them responded beautifully, thoughtfully, gave me lots of love and support. But what I realized in them giving me support was that when each of them lost their friend at different points throughout the year, they were able to cope with drugs and alcohol. Again, neither of them were alcoholics. I'm not condemning the way that they coped with it, but I realized in that moment, I was like, wow, they are never going to really be able to understand what it's like for someone like me to go through this tragic, gut-wrenching, just heartbreak of a situation, losing a friend unexpectedly, and have to be fully present and in my body through the entire experience. And that's what I mean when I say that being sober is a whole other level of living that most people will never touch or experience. And this isn't about being better than anyone else. I'm not better than my two friends. I'm just living a different existence. I am having a different experience because I am sober and I have to show up sober through every experience in my life, no matter what. I don't get to take the edge off. I don't get to just unwind a little bit at the end of the night. I have to wake up with myself, walk through the day with myself, and end the day with myself, no matter what has happened in the in-between time. Nothing like a nice matcha midday. And so in that experience of losing my friend, I hadn't really been to meetings for a long time. And I went back to AA meetings for a little while because I was like, you know, I need to be with my people. I need to be with people who understand what it's like to go through tragic, heartbreaking situations and stay present and sober throughout the entire experience. And so to bring it back to that comedian, she was sharing about, I think she said she had like 16 years sober, and someone she worked with found out she was sober, and they, you know, approached her in the office and they were like, oh, like, I heard you're sober, like, you can't handle your liquor, huh? And she was like, no. Like, I don't think you people can handle sobriety. And her coworker was like, wait a minute. You just feel 100% of your feelings 100% of the time? And she was like, yeah, I do. That's what being sober is all about. And that is the gift of sobriety, is the ability to once again feel the entire spectrum of human emotion. You know, I've talked about on previous episodes how, you know, our degree of freedom is tied to our degree of responsibility. And the same is true with emotions. Like, the degree of joy that we get to experience depends on the degree of grief that we allow ourselves to experience. So, you know, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, we don't get to pick and choose which emotions we numb and which emotions we feel. It doesn't work like that. We either numb it all or we feel it all. We either feel it all a little bit or we either feel it all completely. And so being sober has given me the presence to feel it all completely. And it has invited me to step up and handle what's happening in my life, in the moment, in real time, because I don't have the choice to escape. And being able to be present for family events now, when I used to be the family member that was totally unpredictable, never knew how I was gonna show up or if I was gonna show up, to be able to be wanted and people are excited to see me and have me there, and to be able to show up and to be of service to the people that I love in big milestones and big events in their life, and bring a level of presence that few are able to bring to these events, is such an incredible gift. And I would not trade it for the world. So, the greatest gift of sobriety is presence. I'll see you tomorrow for the next episode. Mwah.